you're having a wonderful start to y'all's weekend. Let's check in with most important man, Will Darkins. What's going on there, brother?
What the hell happened to you?
Man, I went to Nashville. Let me tell you what a town. I'm getting ready to move out there. That's what all the young people are doing. Young people like me. Oh, man, Nashville, what a town. Yeah, let's go. In order to play me the old steel guitar, give me a job right there on Broadway. I'm going to play music. Oh, man, it's going to be great.
You're going to be a musician?
I don't think that's what you have to do if you move
You
to
can't
Nashville.
sing.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
I don't know
I've
either.
never heard you sing. In fact, I'm just realizing that now. I've literally never, in the probably 10 years I've known you, heard you sing.
Well, okay.
Do it.
What do you want me to say? Wow, I have one go-to.
Okay.
Thank you for being a friend. We travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
You're drunk.
And if you threw a party, inviting everyone you knew,
serve up meat.
You would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you."
Wasn't
for being a
he
friend.
the white Jordan?
Thank you for being a friend.
He's black.
Is he? Yeah, you're welcome.
That's pretty good.
My go-to in third grade. Third grade, our music teacher taught us how to do the Flintstones theme song and the Golden Girls theme song. Flintstone one has long since left my memory, but the Golden Girls theme song has come in handy many times. It's my go-to song.
Flintstones.
Yeah, I mean, I got it.
The average of the family in the Tennessee rock.
I know you'll have a gay old time. I do know that part of it.
You'll have a gay old time.
Well, I don't know if I can get up in your register there.
So, did you go to bars?
We did. Went to plenty of bars. We started off by going to barbecue.
Ooh.
Several people recommended the Peg Leg Porker.
Mm.
So we started there, went barbecue, and then just kind of ambled around for a little bit and found our way to Broadway.
Yeah.
If you've never been to Nashville, like people tell you, every bar's got live music. That is an understatement. We go into the first bar, and like you walk in the front door. We went into Tootsie's. Tootsie's is very famous, apparently. A lot of people told us we need to check out Tootsie's.
Is it like the movie?
No, it's different than that.
Okay.
So you walk into Tootsie's. Immediately to your left, you're like 3 feet from the bar. Immediately to your right, you're about 4 inches from a country singer's crotch. And this guy was wearing very tight jeans. So I'm immediately looking to the left. I'm just trying to squeeze in. The place is absolutely packed. They're playing, contemporary country songs. I'm like, whatever.
And it was that moment you realized you're sexually attracted to men.
No, I'd dabbled with it before. Oh wait, no, this is about the trip to Nashville. Get me off subject here. No, the place is absolutely packed. It's just wall to wall people. Bartender very prompt. Got me a Jim Beam, and then made my way to the back of the bar, and then we realized there's a staircase. So we go upstairs. There's another country music band right there. And then we're like, oh, well, let's go up the next flight of stairs and see if there's a band that we recognize any of the music. Go up, there's another band on there. You get to the rooftop on the third floor there at Tootsie's, and you look out over the street of Broadway. There's like 40 more bars just like it. 3 stories, all of country music. You just hear drums and twang of guitar all the way across town. It is absolutely a madhouse. They've got old school bars that only play 2 types of music. They'll play country or they'll play Western. And they love that joke. They do it at least every 45 minutes. They're like, we play 2 types of music in here. Country.
What's the difference?
It's just a joke. There is no difference.
Oh.
They only play one type of music, but they make you think that they have a different type of music. That's the joke.
That put me in a good humor.
It should. And then, as you go down the street, the other thing that's very popular there in Nashville is country artists will get their own bars.
Oh.
Like we went to Luke's, which is Luke Bryan's place.
Did you get a photo of you next to the sign?
Obviously.
And then you pointing up like, that's my bar.
Well, can I say too, it's a big sign and it says Luke's in a vertical, bold neon font. And then leaning up against the name Luke's is a neon cowgirl. I mean, come on. So, yes, I definitely have that sign.
That should be your Facebook avatar.
Well, I just printed out a large print and put it on my wall, right next to my bed. So I'd be like, that's me. And then I give it a quick kiss goodnight, and yep. But I mean, I can put it on
showing
Facebook.
your friends around your house, and this is our bedroom.
Yeah.
My husband decided to put this photo up.
Yep. You're damn right. But like,
love that thing more than my kids.
that's right. It's actually over 2 pictures of my kids. I didn't even take their pictures off the wall. I just covered their pictures.
I know what
with
they
me.
look like.
Yeah, I can see them every day. I'm not gonna be back to Luke's for months. But yeah, so Luke Bryan has a bar. We went into Jason Aldean's bar. We went into Miranda Lambert's bar. I don't know any of their songs, but I went into all of their bars because we had a group of us and people were picking their favorite bars. The ladies really liked Miranda Lambert's bar because it's got a dolled up for them, very pretty. But the one that got everybody's attention. Do you know who Dierks Bentley is?
I'm aware.
Okay.
I don't quite know, but I know that's a person.
No idea who Dierks Bentley is. I was aware that he was a person.
Mm-hmm.
His name's right on the bar, and they got a big Wildcat logo with Dierks Bentley's name inside the Wildcat's face. Looked pretty masculine. But the reason we went into Dierks Bentley bar so often, there was a gal playing on the first floor band, and all the windows are open. So as you walk by, you can see and hear the band, and they kind of draw you in. We got a gal wearing tight leather pants, high top Jordans, playing keytar. Big white keytar.
What's a keytar?
What do you mean, what's a keytar?
That's what I asked.
It is, remember the 80s, Will Darkins?
No, I wasn't born yet.
Okay.
I kind of do.
So in the 1980s, they had guitars that had like the neck of a guitar and the body of a guitar, but built in instead of strings, had a piano built in, the keytar. So instead of playing strings, you play keys.
Yeah, so okay, now I know these now.
So she had hanging over her shoulder a keytar. And we're like, well, we got to see what she's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
We walked in, she immediately starts playing Benny and the Jets. Like, let's go. And she's absolutely killing it. She did Eminem, Benny and the Jets, bunch of rock. It was probably 5, 6, 7 songs before she even got to a country song. And she was absolutely delightful. She had the crowd engaged, whatever. She's playing with clearly a country band. Found out later, the very country-looking singer next to her, who was playing bass and not singing very much, she did pass it over for one song, which was about the time we left, but was her brother. And so she came down because she wanted to be a singer. He came down because he wanted to be a country singer. She's doing a lot better than he is. Because every time we went by Dierks Bentley bar for, I don't know, 3 or 4 times over the weekend, any time of day, she was always there with a different band. She never left. She was a fixture.
So she's doing all right.
She's doing. I don't. Well, I mean, they're running around collecting tips, and you got the Venmo app, so you just scan it right there, and then you send a note, and you go, "Hey, can you play Benny and the Jets again?"
That's comparable in actor circles as like you have like a studio finds you very reliable and like unnoticeable enough that like they are putting you as an extra in many of their TV shows they have on the lot. They're like, look, you clearly know how to blend in seamlessly enough to look like a normal human being. I'm just gonna book you up for the day for shooting. This one you can be on a park bench. This one you're eating at a fast food restaurant. Regular work. Sure. It's all right.
I've got a friend, and I probably should say acquaintance. I guess we're friends. I mean, I sent a text and she responded. That lives in Nashville. Her husband is a musician. I never put too much interest in like what his life was like down there. Now I'm very curious. There's got to be a hierarchy. I assume you want to be on the first floor because that's where everybody sees you. You walk in if you can grab everybody's attention. But where the good bars are, the bad bars, it's like there are. I mean, there's probably 150 acts going at any one time in Nashville on a Thursday night. It's just absolutely bananas. And then you go down Printer's Alley, and they're playing blues music down there. Some of the bars have DJs, and some are playing rock, and some are playing whatever. We went into one bar, and this guy's wearing his Philadelphia. No, it wasn't a Philadelphia 76ers basketball jerseys, but it was definitely a Philadelphia basketball jersey. And then he's playing
Wait, what?
Yeah, it said Philadelphia on it, but it's definitely not a 76ers. It's like the one that you buy from TJ Maxx. And it says basketball. It's like that. Or he played.
Right, I could imagine that, but a knockoff.
It wasn't a
Philadelphia jersey.
It was like he was from Philadelphia and he played for some like City League and got
Oh,
the
I
Philadelphia,
see.
something like that.
So it wasn't like the dumb thing the Blazers did where they put Oregon on
No,
their
no, no,
jersey.
no, no,
Okay.
no. This was just whoa. It's my favorite
That's
Blazers jersey.
horrible.
So, anyways,
Can we make them poop brown?
So I assume
Now
the
we
guy.
can make them poop brown. Of course we can.
It's about Oregon, right?
Yeah.
So I assume the guy's from Philadelphia, and he definitely had the Northeast accent, and he's playing like '90s covers. He's playing Blink 182 and Third Eye Blind, which I abhor, and he's playing Sublime, and just so you know, there's every kind of music that you could want in these areas. You find a band you like, you could sit there all night. So the place is absolutely bananas.
That's great.
Absolutely bananas.
Did you drink in any of the history?
Yes. Walked by the Johnny Cash Museum and said howdy. Walked by the historic train station and said howdy. We walked by the very historic high school, one of the oldest running high schools right there in town. Went by the building for the, what is it? The Barbershop Quartet headquarters. But read all
They
the
have a
placards.
headquarters?
Yeah, they have headquarters right there. It's in
That's
Nashville.
interesting.
The Barbershop Quartet headquarters in Nashville. And my father-in-law, a card-holding member of the Barbershop Society, my wife goes, "Oh, what the hell?" Took a picture of it, sent it to him. He's like, "You're in Nashville?" He's like, "Yeah, how do you know it was in the headquarters in Nashville?" He's like, "I'm a card-holding member." And he sings in Barbershop. So, yeah.
Why would they need that?
What do you mean? You
I
have
don't
to have
know.
to have some sort of leadership. You can't just go around saying you're a barbershop quartet and
I didn't
singing
know
whatever
that was
you
a
want.
thing.
Well, now you do.
I'm looking up now the
You're
strangest headquarters.
The strangest headquarters
Yeah,
that
like
exist
no
anywhere.
way in hell you would say that to anybody else and they'd be like, "Oh, right, of course, the Barbershop Quartet headquarters."
Well, they were there.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Huh. I can't find anything.
It was surprising, but yeah, we ran the rock and roll 10K. We ate a bunch of hot chicken, which went into this place. Okay, have you heard of Hattie B's?
No.
Okay, so Hattie B's, they've got Hattie B's all over. There's one in Vegas. They've got them in Atlanta. They've got them in different cities throughout the South and kind of around the country. That's the Nashville hot chicken that has made it out of Nashville. There's another one we had called Prince's, which was in like the big, they call it Assembly Hall. It's a big food court where you can go and get, all kinds of nice, real nice food where people are trying to make the best tacos and the best dumplings and the best thing. Food was really good. Everywhere we went, Prince's chicken, very good. But everybody told us we needed to go and try Bolton's hot chicken. And this is like the old school Nashville hot chicken.
Was it hot?
Well, we didn't try the hot chicken. We were going to try the medium hot chicken, but the gal that worked there who had less than zero personality and said with the driest expression imaginable, my sister-in-law goes up and she goes, we'll go medium on the hot chicken. Now, right next to the menu, they have a warning sign that says, whatever you do before you go to the restroom or touch your face, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how hot this chicken is. So she goes up to order medium, and with no expression, the woman just goes, "You can't handle the medium." And here's my sister-in-law,
Like
just
dead in the eyes.
like just dead. And
almost as if like it was required. She had to say that.
And my sister, she looks at it. She's like, "Well, I do pretty well with heat. You can't handle the medium." So she went down to mild, which we heard her order medium. Or she told us she was going to get medium or whatever.
Yeah.
So when we went up, or we ordered the mild thinking we were getting one below, the mild almost killed the four of us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's me, my
My
brother,
goodness.
our wives, and like we were just gasping for air. And I washed my hands twice and then touched my eyes like 3 hours later, and it still burned.
Ow.
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't like I stuck a piece of hot chicken in my eye, but I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty
tingling.
spicy. Yeah, there's definitely a tingle.
I am looking at this place. It looks like a hole in the wall.
It looks like the hole inside the hole inside the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. It's pretty grungy looking,
It's
but
super grungy, but on the
food
wall
looks good.
and then on the wall they've got like the all the famous people that have been there. Taylor Swift has made a music video there, and this show has been there to eat the food, and this show has been, and the list just goes on. But there's no pomp and circumstance whatsoever when you walk in. Like Hattie B's, they've got their locations right on Broadway, and there's a line wrapped around the corner. It's a big old deal. We went there. It was the middle of the afternoon, not a prime lunch or dinner time. There's nobody there. We went in, no problem. The fish was really good too, though, because they're hot chicken and fish. The other one's just chicken. So, anyways.
My goodness.
I mean, the whole trip was fantastic.
Well,
So
that's
If
great.
you ever get a chance to go to Nashville, here's the thing I'll say. Like, it probably sounds like a lot. And if you go there and you're like, well, I don't really like country music,
I don't.
understand that. And it turns out I like country music more than I thought that I did. Like, I don't like, if you go, do you like country music? Not really. But we were there a couple times during the four days that we were there. We ended up on Broadway early in the day, both on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And we go in, and at 10 o'clock, the bar's open, and they immediately start playing music. But there's not a ton of people in there, so that they're, yelling out, hey, anybody got requests? I stumped 2 bands with one of my favorite Waylon Jennings songs, which is Ain't No God in Mexico. They didn't know it. One of them knew it, but he's like, oh, we can't play that. That song's a little sideways. The other band didn't even know it. But then I had backup requests that were among the favorites of the artists that they absolutely smashed. And I was like, you know what? This is actually a really cool. So my favorite thing was, like, with all the chaos and everything that goes around, like, just going and having having a beer at 10 a.m. is one of my favorite things anyways, obviously. But listening to, like, these really good musicians play, like, it was great. Just good live music, playing old classic country songs at 10 a.m. in Nashville was just an absolute blast.
Well, you sound refreshed.
Thank you. It was a lovely trip. But if you go, the thing about Nashville is I think it has enough personality that it kind of draws you in without going, hey, you got to be a country fan to be here. You don't have to be a diehard. Like, I think there's something for everybody. You can just go and have a good time.
That's great.
That's what I would say. So I
highly
recommend at least one trip to Nashville.
Okay. Am I correct in the assumption everyone in Tennessee's stupid?
I didn't do a whole lot of testing of intelligence, and I also I don't know how many people were from Tennessee that we met.
I was just trying to pull the old West Coast
I got you.
elitist on you.
I got what you're saying, but and I'd love to go down that road with you. But here's the thing: is like the one guy that's that I know where he's from, like one of the singers who was up there.
Yeah.
He was from Boston. And then he goes and he points to the guitar player and he's like, "Hey!" And on the steel guitar we've got Jimmy from Maryland, and then the gal that was singing up there in the leather pants and her Jordan high tops with her keytar, she's from South Dakota. And so like
Bit of a melting pot.
everybody we met was from somewhere else. Everybody that identified where they were from was from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, and that was, I don't know, a dozen or so people that we met and ran into were everybody was from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then you have these lovely interactions. So I don't know that I met any. Oh, you know what? We met the guy on the plane. He was born and raised in Tennessee, and he was
great.
delightful. He was a very nice guy.
Oh, well, that's just
and
great.
He went to college, graduated from college, and he was going. This is what he said. He goes, and I just knew when I graduated I was getting out of Tennessee. That was like the most important thing to me. But right around the time he graduated was a time that Nashville really became kind of a cool young city where a lot of people were moving there, so he stuck around. So I would say no, not everybody from Tennessee. The guy that I met from Tennessee was delightful, educated, spoke nice, clear, polished English, didn't have an accent, had all his teeth.
Oh, that's good.
Smelled like he had bathed. Like sitting next to somebody on an airplane,
fair.
sitting next to somebody on a 4.5, 5 hour airplane ride, you get a pretty good idea whether or not that person is showered.
Yeah, I think the smell doesn't bother me as much as for people I sit next to on airplanes than noise.
Yeah.
And it's not loud noise. I'm okay
just the
if
heavy
you're
breathing.
It's the ticks.
Oh, yeah.
Just these little friggin' things. I'm gonna just turn over and go, "Can you shut the up?"
Do you want to tell your burrito story again when you sat in first class?
No one was on the plane yet, I might know.
Okay.
I was in first class, and I did it as a statement.
Okay, good job. Good job for you.
Get back there, peasants.
Good job.
I'm going
for
to
you.
wolf this Chipotle burrito down.
Hey, you know what? we need to do. We didn't. You and I didn't have a chance to talk about the NFL draft.
Oh, that's
I was
right.
gone. I was gone draft weekend. I don't know if you know this, but we nearly have the entire second round matchups laid in for the NBA playoffs. We have our first game, I believe, is today.
It's tonight
for round
today.
2.
Tonight.
Today. It's
tonight.
At some point on May 4th. It's also May the 4th be with you. So
Right.
May the 4th be with you.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, good one, man. Good one. And then we'll probably get into baseball because it's fun to do now with our new Orioles fan.
And I had a revelation.
a revelation.
A revelation at the end of the Yankees series. I had a revelation.
Oh, all right. Are you switching to be a Yankees fan now?
Oh no.
Okay, perfect. Okay, as long as that wasn't the revelation,
No,
I'm
no.
happy to get into it.
You know what?
Plenty of sports to talk about. Let's start with the NFL draft. I want to get some hot Darkins takes. I'm sure you gave everybody them last week,
Oh yeah.
but we'll double down on them next. Center and Saint, 1080 The Fan.
Did you know the law requires insurance companies to pay you 100% of your auto claim in cash? At Leifs, we're here to help you do just that. It's your money. Thinking about cashing out, a partial repair, or for many, a pre-loss repair? We're on your side. Remember, it's your money, but to settle your claim 100%, you'll need a professional. Insurers will not settle your claim correctly without a pro working for you. Custom services, deduct assist, loaners, pickup and delivery. Leifs, we're always on your side.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Auto accident? Need a loaner today? Call Leif's Auto Collision Centers. We can get you into a replacement vehicle as early as today. At Leif's, we work with all insurance companies. We process your claim fast, repair your vehicle to pre-loss, bill direct, and get you back on the road hassle-free. Need your vehicle picked up? Call Leif's and we'll send out one of our fleet flatbed trucks to your home or office anywhere in the Northwest. Leif's Auto Collision, the industry leader for 33 years, locally owned, the finest in collision repair.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
In honor of our great friends, Darinoka Mel Kiper Jr., spend one more week on the draft. This is the last week they have a show. It's been a pre-show for us for a decade.
Yeah.
And it's been on the ESPN airwaves for 14 years, and those guys are going away. I think I heard that they're both being put down, which is really sad. No? Are you okay? Is that not true? Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
Do you think that's how it works at ESPN?
yeah. All right,
Take him out
Mel.
back.
No, we're just taking Mel out to the farm.
They're taking me out to the farm. It's going to be great. It's huge. It's a really big farm, and I think it's going to be a really great time. Probably number 3 on my big board.
Number 3. He's getting the number 3 farm on his big board. But in honor of those fine gentlemen, talking about the NFL draft every week all year,
I know.
I feel like we could squeeze one in 2 weeks late. We talked about it before the draft. Let's be honest, we don't know what the hell is going on when these guys are picked. Seattle Seahawks got the best defensive tackle, the best pass rusher on the interior defensive line in all of college football because everybody took offensive players for the first, 97 picks. So, yay, good for the Seahawks. I'm not going to try to break down that. The interesting thing about this draft, of course, is quarterback in the first round. Set an all-time record. More quarterbacks than have ever been taken. Of course, Caleb Williams goes number 1 to the Chicago Bears. Jaden Daniels 2 to the Washington Commanders. Drake May then goes 3 to North Carolina. Then you get Michael Penix Jr. in the surprise of the draft, is drafted to be Kirk Cousins' backup in Atlanta. J.J. McCarthy goes to be Sam Darnold's backup in Minnesota. He better win that job in Minnesota.
That's the one.
That's the one. And Bo Nix to Denver.
That's
at
the
number
one
12.
right there.
That's the one. Everybody's talking about Penix, but you think J.J. McCarthy is a bigger surprise? Or the one you want to talk about?
The one I want to talk about because for whatever inexplicable reason, I think maybe like 2 months leading up to this thing, that guy just started getting attention.
He went 27-1 and won a national championship.
Okay.
They fall in love with that. No,
great.
I'm just
thank you for pointing that out.
The timing of that was good. Yep.
Now, I want you to think in your head, in your mind, of somebody who's quite similar. Okay? Anybody similar to that did
Winston?
that did something like that?
Yeah.
Like Kellen Moore, maybe not quite a national title, but had a stellar record.
Well, but Jameis Winston had almost the same record, didn't he? He had a perfect season, won a national championship. Then his only loss came against the Ducks in the college football playoff. They had a 20-some-odd game win streak.
Now, do we remember anything specific about that national title game and J.J. McCarthy? Anything specific that might stand out, that might make you think that's kind of interesting about J.J. McCarthy?
Didn't throw the ball on?
Didn't throw the ball at all in the second half.
Yeah. Well,
no?
you just think the whole thing's a bad idea? I mean,
yes!
okay.
He's not great.
What?
Why would you draft him in the first round? Why? Why on God's good green earth would you do that? You can talk about the Michael Penix thing. It's very confusing, but I'll tell you this. I understand the reasoning.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it? Not really.
Yeah.
But I get the reasoning. What the hell was the reasoning to pick somebody if you just go back and watch his tape, which unfortunately I had to watch a lot of Michigan games last year. I don't have premium cable, so I get what's on Fox.
I'm sorry.
Saturday afternoons. So I had to watch those stupid games, which they were because it's a Jim Harbaugh offense. And I'll tell you this. It was not incompetence on a coaching side that made him look at times inept and at others like, what's going on here, and very average. It was the fact that J.J. McCarthy is a very average, good college quarterback. That is not a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Not. And shame on the Vikings for not figuring that out in the draft order and going, you know something? We might want to think about getting a more well-established quarterback before we actually draft another one. $100. And I don't bet. $100 says you could have waited another round and gotten him.
It feels that way.
100%.
The whole thing was pre-draft that he was jumping ahead of Michael Penix because he won that one game head-to-head. In the one game that he did lose, wasn't that in the playoffs where he threw 2 pick sixes?
Yes.
Does my memory serve me correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
I just it blew my mind that they picked him then. I don't know, man. I mean, all those other quarterbacks, it really makes sense. Excuse me, where they went.
Okay.
Bo Nix,
Jaden Daniels, you do not love, but it
I
makes
don't
sense.
love, but I get it.
Okay.
It makes sense because look, he's a Heisman winner. He's a dynamic quarterback, and you have a team that you're trying to kind of build around a young talent. He was probably the second best quarterback on the board in their evaluation.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. He had an all-time season, regardless.
I get it.
Yeah, like whether you believe it was inflated numbers or not.
Yeah.
Nobody else has gotten numbers like that.
Yeah,
So,
Drake May, again, you need a quarterback. You desperately need one as the Patriots. So you go ahead and do that. You have the option of trading down and getting more assets, but you decided to build around a guy, and you obviously made sense of it. Bo Nix for the Broncos made complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Michael Penix, again, I very much understand the reasoning. It's not very smart. You have a very, very high margin of error on that could happen. Say, like, Kirk Cousins just gets hurt.
Well, but then it wouldn't be good to have a backup. I mean, a guy. I mean, here's the weird thing about the Penix thing to me is if you thought that he was the guy that could benefit most from sitting and getting better, I never understood the he's 24-year-old argument for Penix and Bo Nix. Like they're old college quarterbacks. But if you're going to draft a guy to sit a couple years and mature behind a veteran, then why do you get the 24-year-old? That throws me off the most about that.
And I think the idea is that if you're the Atlanta Falcons, you're 8, and you might not find yourself there again in a while because this was the weird thing about the Atlanta Falcons. They're a really good team. Really, they are. They have a lot of really great young talent. They had 2 incredible weaknesses last season, one of which being a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, they had no quarterback.
What's that?
They had no quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
which not even putting a guy out there. You'd think you'd at least get somebody that's played the position before.
You tried Marcus Mariota. That's not a thing anymore. Desmond Ridder just didn't work out. And then the second thing is you had a bad head coach. And so if you can alleviate those 2 things, which I believe they did in some respect by getting Kirk Cousins and Raheem Morris, you should be a lot better. And then put into that equation, you're in the worst division in football.
Yeah.
That should be very, very good. So I get it from the standpoint of like, look, we're probably going to be really good next year with Kirk Cousins. We'll win the division and we might even win a playoff game, to be quite honest. So why don't at this 8 spot, we take advantage right now and draft the quarterback of the future? Who's left on the board?
Yep.
It's Michael Penix. We like him better than J.J. McCarthy.
They spent a lot of time looking at him too, though. The reports were that they were traveling to Seattle as a full contingent to look at his workouts and Atlanta. I mean, I don't think it was a surprise if you paid attention to a lot of the pre-draft chatter. I have 2 questions for you. One is who has the best rookie year and who has the best career on these quarterbacks. But first, we have to get to a SportsCenter update.
All right. I don't really understand this in baseball, so you'll have to tell me if this is good or not.
Okay.
Still learning.
Sure.
The Padres acquired Luis Arias in a trade with the Marlins. Is he good?
Yeah, I think if I'm remembering correctly, if this is the right guy that I have in my brain, he is a very good contact hitter and was leading the league in batting average at some point last year. So I'd have to double check. I'm not looking. I'm doing this from memory, but I do not. I don't think it's a bad move. So yeah.
That whole division confuses me because they really don't have great records, but like people keep talking about how amazing they are.
Who's that? The Padres?
But yeah, the Padres and the Dodgers.
Well,
and
I mean, the rosters are insane. I mean, the amount of talent that was acquired by the Padres starting 3 or 4 years ago was always big, but they haven't done anything with it. So it's baseball's a tricky one because everybody likes to say that the Yankees buy championships. They won a lot with their homegrown talent, and Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Bernie Williams. Those were Yankee guys. They bought 1 World Series championship with A-Rod, so it's really hard to do. The Dodgers finally won one after 100 tries, but there's teams that pop up. Kansas City Royals have a championship in the last decade and then go back to the bottom and seem to be rising back to the top. So it's a very tricky balance.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, The Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky. co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Want concert quality sound for your vehicle? No one does it better than the experts at Car Toys. Get free installation on Kenwood Apple CarPlay and Android Auto receiver starting at just $299. Plus a free backup camera with any Kenwood receiver from $399. Our experts can also radically improve your sound without touching your dash. Get a simple speaker swap or a full audio upgrade. Visit one of our 48 stores and cartoys.com for the drive you deserve.
Car Toys, a better way to go.
Hey everyone, Boomer Esiason here. The NFL draft is behind us and your favorite team is now gearing up for week number 1. The free Odyssey app puts you right in the middle of the pro football conversation with the biggest sports radio stations from across the country. The local voices who know your team the best, giving you their unfiltered takes on the current state of your squad. It's always football season on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Welcome back, Sinner and Saint. I'm Luke Anderson. That's Will Darkins. 6 quarterbacks taken in the NFL draft first round. Only 5 quarterbacks taken outside of the first round. You know where Spencer Rattler went?
I don't. I know he was in, well, was it like the 3rd round or something?
5th round, New Orleans Saints. How about Jordan Travis, Florida State?
Right.
Big stud. He was having a great
Where did he go
season
again?
until he got hurt. I'm asking you.
I don't know.
New York Jets, 5th round.
That's right. I remember that, and I remember liking that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
because of the fact
he's having a great season and
he
then gets
is.
hurt at the end of the year.
And I feel like he's not going to fall into the trap of, thinking that some, narcissistic guy with a penchant for fingers in his butt will like actually teach him something. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no,
you saw that news this week, right?
No.
Oh,
I don't pay. Can we? I don't think you're.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put like this will be the last one, and then
What?
no more Aaron.
No. There will be because he'll get hurt in week 2.
No, that's fine.
Week 2,
You
and then
talk
we can
about
bring it back
football
up
related.
again.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
If he
This is football related.
I can bring up Aaron Rodgers, and you can talk about him. But
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
It's football related.
Okay.
He basically just set his own OTAs.
Oh, okay. Of course.
So he just
Yeah.
basically was like,
no.
"I'll come in when I feel like
Yeah,
it."
that sounds right. Remember
Because last season was such a success.
you remember Joe Milton, the great Joe Milton,
Where's he from?
Tennessee.
Joe Milton. Oh, yeah, kind of.
Joe Milton is now a New England Patriot, drafted in the 6th round. Devin Leary from Kentucky goes to Baltimore, and then Michael Pratt from Tulane goes to Green Bay in the 7th round. So those are all your quarterbacks. We've already went over the first 6 ad nauseum. on every sports station since the draft. So my question for you, sir, is now that you know all 11 quarterbacks taken and where they are, who has the best rookie season and who has the best career?
No.
I know.
That's weird.
Why? Isn't that what the draft's all about?
Career, that's a tough one.
Okay, we'll start with rookie season.
Rookie season, I think, there's a lot of factors that play into it, but I think the biggest factor of all is how much of an opportunity do you have with the team?
Yep.
Obviously, talent comes into play, but, all these guys are pretty talented. So,
well, who's a day one starter you would think makes a big impact on
well,
year one
Caleb
success?
Williams starting, Drake May is starting, Jaden Daniels is starting.
Bo Nix.
JJ McCarthy, I guess, is
Yeah.
starting. Bo Nix, I've heard some chatter that Drew Lock, or not Drew Lock, somebody
Stidham, Jared Stidham.
Yeah, somebody might start over him.
I don't know. But
Michael Penix
but,
Jr.
but,
won't.
but obvious.
Yeah.
Well, but there's not a built-in starter in Denver where you'd be like, oh, you can't. Like Penix isn't
Right.
going to start over Kirk Cousins.
No, but I think the idea is that Sean Payton wants to develop Nix.
Sure, which makes sense.
Because from what I heard from like the pre-workout stuff is that like they think that Nix mentally is like there. He's like, they were blown away by his pre-workouts and his ability to recall, but they're like, there's physical stuff we want to work on with him before we get him out there.
Well,
So anyway,
nobody released the ball quicker in college football last year than Bo Nix, and
Sure.
that's why
the long ball accuracy
Sure.
is a concern.
Yep.
I guess in terms of success and in terms of like division and everything, I guess I'd have to give it to Drake May. He'll probably have the best.
Yeah.
Look, they're
rookie
going to
head
play.
coach and
Yeah, but
running
they're
up
going to be
against the
better.
Bills
Their
and the
defense,
Dolphins.
their defense is really good.
Yeah.
They're actually now like building a roster around him to find wide
Do they have a
receivers.
general manager now and like an
think they do.
organizational game plan? And do they have an offensive coordinator?
I would imagine. You have to have that, right?
No, apparently you don't. Poor Mac Jones got none of those
But
things.
again, it's about opportunity and where
Yeah.
you are and what your competition is. And I think the Bills will be greatly diminished next season. So
Okay.
you have a chance to compete against them. The Jets will be awful next year.
Yeah.
Obviously Miami's pretty good, but there was a lot of those games last season where, again, because the Patriots defense is so frigging good, you just needed a halfway competent offense to be competitive. So that's what I would give. I think Jaden Daniels is obviously going to suffer and go through a lot.
Yeah.
He's coming into a bad situation, but I could be completely wrong on that.
Yeah.
And then finally, Caleb Williams is just the wild card in all of it because I don't know. He really is like the perfect example of, the rawness is there.
Yeah.
He is obviously incredibly talented if you have two eyes and you can watch football. But you also then put it into context of how that would work in the NFL, and you go, that dude's not running around like that in the NFL.
The talent doesn't always translate.
Yeah.
And for me, with Caleb Williams, it's just every time I hear him talk, I have no faith in him. But I thought this-
really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
He just annoys me. He's just. Yeah, he does not give a great quote, in my opinion. He doesn't look, he has the confidence, but he doesn't have like the, hey, I just want to get in there and work and get with my teammates. He's like, I want to be great. I don't want to be good. I want to be great. And it's those things.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
High achievers. You hate that.
no, but there's a way of going about things where you go in and you just go, hey, my first job is to win the respect of my teammates, which as a rookie going into a professional setting, like hearing stuff like that. But in fairness, I thought the same thing about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is not great, but he's very good. And he puts up good numbers. He's had success in the NFL. Now, will he ultimately ever win a championship? I would doubt it, but that's partly because he's in Arizona. If you got him with the right organization, will he still has some legs? Yeah, maybe. But
I think you do also bring up a good point about mentality with quarterbacks, and that, I think this is a massive reason why it's not the biggest, but it's part of it. Why Marcus Mariota was just not fit for the NFL is he didn't have the mentality.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the thanking dudes for helping you up and saying good job.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yep.
you'll get murdered with that, saying that kind of stuff out there. I know Andrew Luck did it too, but I'm sorry, but look what happened.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Totally.
But it's that mentality I think that people like about Caleb Williams, which is when you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, which he will be from day one, you have to be ruthless. You have to be
Yeah.
ruthless in how competitive you are and how much you want to win and in how much you have to push everybody else to be better. And that's what
now-
they
yeah.
need, and that's what they wanted. And I think too, that kind of stuff with like Justin Fields, you could kind of tell as time went on that was starting to dissipate. It was starting to go away. In interviews, he was kind of talking like, it wasn't negative necessarily, but it was just this attitude of like, he's kind of just hanging on. The guys that do the best, and Baker Mayfield had this too, and he's doing well now because he persisted. The guys who do the best is when they're at their worst and you interview them, they're like, dude, we got to be better.
Yeah.
Like everybody does.
Yeah.
It starts with
Yep.
me.
Yep.
I just got to get back and do that. And
Yeah.
so I like the way Caleb Williams talks in terms of who he is. As a person, I probably wouldn't like hanging out with him. Probably not.
But I want winning is the most important thing, no matter what my numbers
Sure.
look like, all of that.
Mhm.
Instead of being, I'm here to be an all-time great. No, let me show up day one, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna help this team win. From that, like that's the most important thing. That's what I wanted to hear. But like I said, I didn't listen to every interview that he did, and I've got bias against a guy from USC, so I'll admit to that.
He paints his nails. And that to me signals that he has low T and will not perform well.
Yeah, well, no, you know what?
What do you think about
I'm
that?
never upset when I'm wrong because I'm wrong all the time. If all the times I was wrong about sports though, where I go, I pretty much know what's going to happen. This is the reason I don't bet on sports. I kind of like being proven wrong. And there's a team doing that in the NBA. So we'll talk about that in hour 2, and you'll be very excited about it because they're your favorite team ever, and go Thunder. But first, we have to get to good versus evil. We do that next. Sinner and Saint on 1080 The Fan.
Aloha, Portland sports fans. It's Marcus from the 808. Rah, you looking for some mono grinds? You need some Kalbi ribs, terry chicken, or that katsu from 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Check them out at Burnside, Woodstock, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. Mahalo.
Your home, your savings, your children. Everything that matters to you is at stake in a divorce, and for many of our clients, a divorce was unwanted. This is Rick Jones. At Goldberg Jones, our team of experienced attorneys handle every aspect of a divorce and custody case. When stakes are high, you need a lawyer you can trust. Husbands and fathers, trust Goldberg Jones. Call 1-800-DIVORCE and get your phone questions answered at no charge.
Serving the greater Portland, Vancouver area.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you been too busy to keep up on sports this week?
What has happened to what has happened? What has happened to the national interest?
No time to form your own opinions?
I stand before you here today in the midst of gnarly times.
Well, no worries, brah. Let the Sinner and the Saint shred the gnar while you just sit back and ride the wave. It's time for Good versus Evil, brought to you by the Titan of Hawaiian Restaurants, 808 on 1080 The Fan.
You just have to sleep on it, collect your thoughts. You don't never want to speak from erratic emotion. So you just soak it all in, watch the game, see what you could have done better, and go from there and be better for it going forward.
There's unemployed guy Darvin Ham. Now let's talk about the end of Ham's stint as head coach of the Lakers. The team reportedly fired him earlier Friday following LA's first-round exit to the Nuggets. Ham was 90-74 in the regular season and 11-12 during the playoffs. To note, 8 of those 12 losses were to Denver. Does this make the Lakers better?
I don't know. I always thought Darvin Ham was hired to be fired. It was just so that you had a fall guy at the end of it that wasn't named LeBron James. I think at this point, you go, what can we do to keep LeBron? He's selling tickets. I don't know that he makes us that much better. Hopefully, he can help us draw some better younger players. But all they want to do is keep LeBron until he retires, so he can retire as a Laker, and they can pretend that they had him the entire time. The Lakers organization,
That's
I think,
pretty pathetic.
I don't disagree,
Yeah.
but I think that's where the Lakers are right now. I mean, they don't want to go see him go and be the third Beatle on another team and win a championship. They just assume try to use him to build a championship team, and I think that's what they want to do. They want his kid to play there. They want to be, if they can't be the best team in the league, they want to be the most interesting team in the league, and that's what the Lakers do when they hire a coach like Darvin Ham, just so they can fire him.
Why don't you just hire J.J. Redick then?
They might.
I
Well,
would
because they don't want to fire J.J. Redick. Everybody likes J.J. Redick. Nobody knew who Darvin Ham was, and then they talked him up to make him seem like this great coach, and then they got rid of him. Frank Vogel was the same thing.
Darvin Ham is one of the greatest examples of he looks like his name.
That's pretty good.
I hear Ham and I see him and I'm like, yeah,
check. And
that
Darvin.
looks-
Well, yeah, but
And Darvin too.
But if
yeah.
he was Mel Ham, it wouldn't be right. He's a Darvin Ham.
Even Mel, I'd
don't
take
know.
a Mel. Now, like a Stephen Ham, I'd be
No.
like, that's
Yeah.
not Stephen.
No, Darvin Ham.
Darvin, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is Darvin.
He's
What kind
definitely
of
definitely
prevented
Darvin Ham.
you all from being able to get over, kind of like you haven't in the past?
You'll move that mic, please, or just get out the circle, please, for me, please, ma'am. If you're not subscribed to my pod, I appreciate that. Thank you. I think they play really well at home.
There's noted a-hole Patrick Beverly. The Bucks got bounced from the playoffs this week, losing to the Pacers by 22. As the game wound down, Beverly was spotted firing the ball at a spectator and later barring an ESPN producer from a media session because she didn't subscribe to his podcasts, as other local Milwaukee journalist had noted on Twitter afterwards. He has done the same thing to them as well during the season. That's not even the weirdest thing about this past season, from Terry Stotts being fired for weird reasons to
Did he get fired or did he quit?
Or quit.
Yeah, I thought he quit.
to their head coach being fired after a third of the season being done. By the way, they were in third place at that point.
Yeah.
Is this the weirdest outcome to an NBA season for a team that you can think of in recent memory?
Watching them get absolutely housed while their two superstars sit on the sideline and Doc Rivers is their coach, who wasn't their coach when they were lighting the league on fire at the beginning of the year. Yeah, it's not a great finish. I don't know if it's the weirdest finish of all time. I'd like to look at the Phoenix Suns season a little bit closer because
This way?
This season?
But it was just kind of boring.
It was kind of like I said.
But the Bucks one is just so confounding because
It
they're
is.
like, we got Damian Lillard, and you're like, yay! And then it's like, oh, by the way, the coach is apparently awful, and the
Yep.
players want him gone.
Yes.
All right, here comes Doc Rivers.
Yeah, no, it's a
and
very,
then we didn't get better.
yeah, it's a weird one, but I understand why they lost in the playoffs. It's because their two stars weren't playing.
Sure,
So
yeah.
again, what happened with the Suns, where they fire a great coach, they bring in two superstars and still can't, how did they not figure out the formula? There's got to be something more than just they didn't jive well on the basketball court and Vogel didn't set up the right offense for Kevin Durant. I'd like to know more
I didn't
of
think
what's
you had
going.
to do that.
Well, that's what I thought.
You just gotta give him the ball, right?
Again, it seemed really boring, but with Bradley Beal, he's finally out of Washington. He's playing with other stars. What can go wrong? And they didn't even get out of the first round. So I would like to know more about that, but I would like to point to all the Bucks fans that are Bucks fans to follow Damian Lillard. The Blazers are nothing, and the Bucks are something. I hope you enjoyed your first season watching Damian Lillard elsewhere, and your new Bucks hat, and your cool Bucks double threat shirt that you got with Giannis on one side and Dame on the other side. I hope that worked out really well for you this season. So I think there you go. For grass is greener.
If that person actually exists, seek help.
Have you not met I'm a new Bucks fan guy?
Oh, that's a thing?
Yes, they're all over the city. There's probably at least 300 of them listening to the show right now.
I saw a post on Twitter this morning from this place called Blazers Palace.
I think I've heard of
Yeah.
Blazers Palace,
And
but
they're
I have
like
no idea what
still-
it is. Is
they're
that like
still-
a Chinese restaurant?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
It is not. By my
Welcome to Blazers
mistake, it
Palace?
is not.
The
I
try-
kind of thought it was. That's how I came upon
Try the Kung Pao.
it. And they were posting like these infographics about Damian Lillard still in a Blazers uniform. And I was like, that guy doesn't play for us anymore, right?
Well, do they?
And like the argument is like, oh well, he was so legendary. I was like, dude, you can do that when he retires.
Yeah,
but he's still playing.
Yeah. Well,
In fact,
I mean, it wasn't.
but
I mean, this week he didn't play.
yeah, like if you wanted to do that with LaMarcus Aldridge, okay, fine. What the hell? All right, no, I'm not going to do this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you for that. You did
self-restraint.
You did pretty well with the Aaron Rodgers thing, and you did pretty well with the Blazers one. That's pretty good.
It had to do with football. Come on.
No, that's fair.
Delusional fan base. All right, that was it.
All
right.
fan bases are delusional. They're called.
This one's the
fanatic.
most. This one's the
Nope,
most.
you're just closest to it.
Nope.
Yep.
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 Yep. Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
No.
You're delusional.
Yeah, but not about sports.
Just about my physique. What do you got for your best story of the week?
This one comes from North Carolina.
How exciting!
And it's not about tobacco.
Oh, bummer.
Your headline, North Carolina child's, quote, monster in the closet was in fact 50,000 bees in the wall.
Sorry, where was this again?
North Carolina.
50,000 bees. So the child goes to mom and dad and goes, I hear a noise in my closet. There's nothing. Go to bed. And then presumably because North Carolina, they, use physical violence against a child.
Yes, we all know.
And then turns out there was 50,000 bees in the wall.
A toddler told her mom that, quote,
Jeez.
monsters were in her closet, but in fact, there were more than 50,000 bees there.
That's pretty outstanding.
A mother of 3 children under 4 years old was met with a terrifying surprise after she and her husband investigated why a handful of bees had been flown into the attic of a couple's North Carolina home. After a visit by pest control company and multiple beekeepers, a thermal camera finally revealed where the bees had gone to a massive hive they had built inside of the wall of their daughter's room, where the girls was convinced she was hearing a monster lurking.
That is awesome.
Horrifying.
Whoa, what? Bees?
Are you joking me?
Bees are great.
I wish it was a monster.
You know,
I don't want 50,000 bees. Are you kidding?
They're
what
in
if
the
the
wall.
Yeah, but what if they get pissed off for whatever reason? They come after
Listen,
you.
This has a happy ending. If the girl was murdered by all the bees, I'd be on your side. That would be terrifying. That's not what happened. My question is, do you get to keep all the honey?
I
Am I
don't
right?
think so, dog.
What? Come on.
I don't think that's a honey gathering mission.
What?
I think that's a
Well, listen, you're rebuilding.
mercenary.
You're rebuilding the wall, anyways, right? So let's go in there and save some of this Monsters Closet bee honey, and then you can sell it. You're getting the publicity for it right now. So then what you do is you bottle it and put a label on it that says "Monster in the Closet Bee Honey" and sell it around the country for 3 times what it's worth. Honey's a valuable commodity, and I hope they didn't kill all those bees because we need them to pollinate.
For roughly 8 months, a swarm of honeybees had been building a hive inside of the wall of the daughter's room. The beekeeper, quote, didn't even have his bee gear on yet, but he took a hammer and knocked into the wall. Bees came swarming out like a horror movie.
Yes!
Why would you put a hammer to a wall if you didn't even have your gear on yet? And when you came in, you heard...
Listen, if your life ambition is become a beekeeper, I'm not convinced you make the best choices.
You probably got some cojones.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I would guess. It's like that guy...
you don't have the same fear sense that we do about bees. And I'm not really afraid of bees.
And then
Look at that.
transferring this one over to sports, too, you did see the Dodgers game.
I didn't want...
Beekeeper had to come out because there was a beehive.
No, that's great.
Yeah, and so they call this guy out, and he hammed it up when he came onto the field.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah, I'd do that too if I got to.
Let's go.
Yeah, because everybody was already there, and they were warming up, and then for whatever reason, somebody was like, that looks like a beehive, and then they had to call it off.
Where was it at?
It was on an outer fence or something.
At Dodger Stadium?
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine, just building a beehive. Like
Yeah.
they were on a road trip, and like while they were gone, the bees were like,
Quite a large.
I guess they're done playing here for the year and just
Yeah.
started building a beehive. How long did it take to build a beehive? You said 3 months for this, and then there was 50,000 bees in the wall. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's kind of how the article presents it. I guess if that's how you do the math. 3 months equals 50,000 bees.
You said the timeline. You said
So let's see. A month is how many bees?
a lot.
What, 18,000?
Yeah, that sounds right. A lot of bees.
There you go. Well, why don't they just take abandoned homes in Detroit and like do this?
Well, because there's 2 gay guys on Home and Garden Television that are remodeling them. Have you not watched that show?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Have you not seen that show?
Is it Nate and
I don't know what their
someone
names
else?
are, but like the only time we watch HGTV is when we're in hotel rooms. But every time we catch that show, and those guys are one house at a time rebuilding Detroit.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
They are making affordable well,
Yes.
sorry. They're making homes.
No, the whole idea
they
is to
are
make them affordable. Yes.
Oh.
It's a good one. They go in and they buy the ones that are like next to ruin. They take all the garbage out of there and they upgrade them so people in the community can buy them. They're not trying to gentrify. They're trying to save not only the city, but the people, which is really what makes up the city. It's great. I don't know what the show's called. And I don't even know if I remember this correctly because I'm usually drunk when I'm at hotel rooms. So I could be making this all up, but I think that's a real thing.
Sounds real.
Yeah, well, there you go. I'll do some research in the break because when we get back, we can talk about that with the NBA playoffs, which are getting into the second round, where hopefully we'll have some competitive series. We do have one that has to finish up tomorrow, and we can talk about that because it's your second favorite team in the NBA. It's going to be very exciting. Hour 2 of The Sinner and the Saint is next on 1080 The Fan.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
The home of Colin Cowherd, always live on the Odyssey app, is KFXX KWJJ HD2 Portland, 1080 The Fan.
You got to pay them early, and you got to pay them a lot.
An Odyssey sports station. Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, NBA playoffs continued to develop storylines Friday night as the Magic extended their series versus the Cavs, winning Game 6, 103-96. That one heads back to Cleveland tomorrow for a decisive Game 7. Meanwhile, Dallas Mavericks eliminated the Clippers in 6 games, winning 114-101. Dallas now moves on to face the Thunder Tuesday in the second round. Speaking of the second round, round 2 of the playoffs tips off this evening with just one game on the docket. Timberwolves taking on the Nuggets in Denver. Western semis. Denver currently a 4.5-point favorite. Tip 4 o'clock TNT. And the Mariners continue their 3-game series versus the Astros in Houston this evening after dropping the second straight last night. Logan Gilbert versus Framber Valdez on the bump. First pitch, 4:15 on Reed Sports Network. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. Sports.
Oh, this is so good.
The Final Frontier. These are the voices of the sinner and the saint.
Did you really think that after absolutely blowing your butt out in Game 1,
did they
blow their butt out.
Yes, they blew their collective butts out to try to get that win.
Oh, their weekly mission to provide hot takes, medium takes, mild takes, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Take me to Flavor Town.
Luke Anderson.
You're welcome. You're welcome, world.
Will Darkins.
I know what you're thinking. What will the butt test tell us that the nose test didn't?
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate Show on 1080 The Fan. The
Odyssey.
Map.
It's just turning into a gigantic Mexican.
And 1080thefan.com.
Hour 2! If you missed anything from hour 1, shame on you. But don't worry. Podcast is available. 1080thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. Sure, you can just tell your smart speaker, or hidden inside my children's closet wall, along with 50,000 bees, I've got several copies of the podcast for you, so you are welcome.
Are the bees listening to
I
it?
still want that honey. If I have 50,000 bees making a beehive in my wall, I want the honey. Is that fair?
So,
if you'd like the honey, you can text us, Vancouver Ford text line. All texts on the fan are from the Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further. They treat you right before, during, after the sale. Visit vancouverford.com, 503-2GO-FAN, T-O-G-O, FAN.
And this texter says, yes, some monsters might be preferable.
I guess. If the whole family was stung thousands of times by all of these bees were just going out, pollinating the neighborhood, coming back, making honey in the walls. Did it make a disruptive sound? Yeah. Did the toddler identify it before she was killed by 1,000 bees? Or 50,000 bees? 50,000 bees. Yeah,
There's a
she
big
did.
difference.
Yeah, but again, they weren't looking for murder. They're just trying to make some sweet, sweet nectar, baby.
I had this conversation the other day with my mother-in-law because she was coming over for dinner, and we found a squirrel a dead squirrel in our backyard.
Okay.
I don't know why it died, but anyway, I had to get rid of it, which consisted of
Taking a shovel and whipping it over the neighbor's yard.
Very correct. Yes, the neighbors who have abandoned their house in our backyard.
Just flipping the neighbor's yard.
It will create better soil. Anyway,
you're welcome.
I did that. She's a very sensitive woman. She's a very kind, very great woman.
At least you don't have golf clubs.
I wouldn't have done that.
I'm just saying.
I was thinking about taking my old tennis racket, doing a lob.
You have just, instead of a whole squirrel in your yard, you just have parts of a squirrel in your yard.
And I throw it back there, and she goes, oh, that poor thing. It was just living its life. Just
don't
in the
know
backyard. And this is when I said, and she didn't like this, I go, how do you know that squirrel wasn't an a-hole?
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I was like, what if of the group of squirrels, which there are many,
sure,
that one squirrel was just terrible.
The worst.
Like sleeping with other dudes, squirrels' wives.
Yeah.
Stealing nuts.
Adulterous, thieving, murdering.
Running mail wire fraud schemes.
Yes.
Just doing weird, crazy ass.
Yep.
And that his comeuppance finally happened in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
To which she replied, what the hell are you talking about? And then my wife looked at me like, will you please stop?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Can you just turn it off for one
Conversation
dinner?
I've been happy to have with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. Like, not all squirrels created equal.
No.
Yeah. Some are good, some are bad, most are in between. Right?
I've heard squirrels described as rats with a great PR agent for their tail.
I would agree with that. Well, they just dress nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, rats eat garbage. Squirrels eat nuts and garbage.
Do they?
I think they definitely.
Those raccoons.
Raccoons definitely eat garbage,
Yeah.
but I don't know that they eat nuts. But the squirrel, you always picture them just eating nuts, right?
Right, or a leaf or something.
Yeah. But they'll go after the garbage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Run around with a wrapper. You get a Kit Kat, they'll tear off. Yeah, let's go. Can we talk about the NBA playoffs?
Sure.
Real quick, like.
If you want to.
I think I'd like to.
Okay.
Do you realize that there's only one series still going, but there's also, out of the 7 series that are completed, if my math is correct,
which it usually is,
there is only one team that won a series that has a higher average age than their opponent. And this is of their playoff rosters. So if you take their playoff roster and take their average age of guys that played, so forget the 76ers had 28 players this year. 28 different guys got minutes.
Seems high.
It's staggering.
Yeah.
There was some around 20. I was like, that seems like a lot. There's 28 players for the 76ers. There's one team that had an average age higher on their playoff roster than the other. Do you know who that team is that won a series in the first round?
I don't know. Is it the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Had a higher average age?
I don't know. I thought you were going to trick me or something.
Oh, well, no. I mean,
Nuggets probably?
No, it was the Celtics.
Oh.
The Celtics are the only one. And because 34-year-old Jimmy Butler did not play in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it would have. I mean, it probably would have changed it. It certainly would have made it higher. And they're both at 27 as an average age. And if you take, the roster there. So, but no, the Nuggets played the Lakers. So the Lakers
that's right.
are an older team. But you talk about a changing of the guard and what's going on in the NBA right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the youngest first one seed ever, and now they are the owners of the youngest team ever to win a playoff series. So your Oklahoma City Thunder.
They swept, right?
Yes, I believe they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they got to play the Pelicans without Zion, which is
sweep's a sweep, dog.
Well, hey, listen. If you're the 1 seed, you get to play the 8 seed.
Yeah.
And the reason they're an 8 seed is because they weren't the best team all year. So there you go. So you do have the advantage of that, yes. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Nuggets have advanced, the Timberwolves have advanced, the Mavs have advanced. Those are all led by very young players. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 25 years old. You have a 29-year-old Jokic, but let's be honest, that was a Murray series. I mean, you have 2 game winners for Jamal Murray, who's 26 years old. You look at the Timberwolves led by a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, who is just about as much fun to watch as anybody in the NBA. And Luka Doncic is still he's in his teens, isn't he? He's 25 years old.
He looks 40.
He does, but he also is number 2 all time in playoff scoring average. I mean, he is. That doesn't mean anything to you?
I don't know. He's not the most exciting person to watch.
That's fine. I won't.
That's what I would say.
I won't disagree with that. But for the first time since 2005, no Kevin Durant, no Steph Curry, no LeBron James in the second round.
That's right.
Jimmy Butler not in the second round. These guys that have taken over. Giannis, who has won and a multiple MVP winner, not in the second round. I mean, the Celtics have been there, but they haven't won that. So we're getting a new champion this year, and we're getting a team that has a lot left in the tank when we do, it feels like. So unless the Nuggets win, which is still a young team, I mean, this feels very much like a moment where you go, all right, thanks LeBron, thanks Steph, thanks KD. We've got some new guys.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference is that you don't have necessarily anyone carrying the torch for all facets of the game. And I'll explain that in that, if you look at since the 70s heading to about now, you always had somebody who was carrying the torch for the league, or 2 people.
Bill Russell, Jerry West in the 70s.
Yeah, 80s you had Bird and Magic, and for a lesser part in the late 80s, Michael Jordan. And then Michael Jordan completely took over in the 90s. And then the 2000s, you had Kobe Bryant and Shaq, and a little bit of just the Spurs as a team.
Tim Duncan, you give him some credit. Speaking of boring.
But again, hold on a second. I'm saying all-encompassing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Tim Duncan really didn't do that. The whole attitude and the whole behavior and just aura of a player can define a league. And Kobe Bryant did that. And the reason we know that is because there's like 10 to 15 all-star players today who, when you ask them, who did you influence your game off of? Kobe Bryant. I loved his mentality. I loved all that. Got passed off to LeBron. In LeBron's later years, he shared it with Steph Curry. They had that same mentality. But you're now heading into kind of an interesting area where this is why there's so much attention on Anthony Edwards. Not only because of the fact he's really, really good, but the fact that Nikola Jokic is kind of a nothing personality.
Oh, yeah.
He has very funny quotes.
He's hilarious.
There's just kind of nothing to him in terms of like generating an energy that people feed off of. He even Jordan says
not even
this,
the way he plays. He doesn't
Yeah.
even love the game. He's just like, I just happen to be really good at it. So
Yes,
I play the
of
basketball.
course, yeah. And so I think that's the part where you say, well, I don't know so much if he can be kind of the anchor for this league as a star moving forward. Mike Trout is very, very good.
Yep.
He is about as interesting as my fingernail. That's
Which
it.
one?
Come on.
If it's
Least
this one.
interesting. Index.
Yeah.
But that's what's so interesting about this next part. You are correct. It
Well,
is.
that's-
This is the changing of the guard, and this is the season where we finally are kind of. It seems as though making the jump in, but I can't quite tell who that guy is yet. I think people.
That's the fun part. That's what I love so much. It's like,
oh, see, I want a guy.
I know, but you've got another month and a half of playoff basketball. Here's the moment. The stage is yours. Who's going to grab it? Right now, the best player in the world is Nikola Jokic. He just
100%.
is. But you're 100% right. He will never be the face of the league. It just doesn't work that way. And in this series, those 2 game-winning shots by Jamal Murray, I mean, were absolutely awesome. Like in the late moment, it's hard to be the guy when at the end of the game, I don't think they made a mistake by giving it to Jamal Murray. Obviously, they didn't make a mistake by giving it to Jamal Murray. Jokic, could he have made some shots there? Yes. But giving to your ball handler, your primary ball handler, let him go and take it, and he took the mantle. He's one of 3 guys now with Jalen Brunson, I think, that's still in the league, that has 3 40-point games consecutively in the playoff series. And Jamal Murray did that in 2020 before he blew out his ACL. So he's always been a primetime performer. But right now you're looking at Jason Tatum hasn't stepped up and become that player. You're seeing what Jalen Brunson was able to do against the 76ers. Tyrese Halliburton and a very young Pacers team was able to beat a depleted Bucks team, but you have at least the confidence going in, because in what was it, game 5, where they just couldn't close the door on them, they looked a little bit lost. But now having won a series and going out and getting to play against the Knicks, I'm pretty excited to watch that. I can't wait for Reggie Miller and Spike Lee to be fighting on the sideline, because that will bring back great memories. But then whoever wins this Cavs and Magic series, the Magic are average age is like 24 years old as a full roster. I mean, that's
I really do love watching them.
Yes.
They're great. They're just so much fun.
So
and they play the old style, man.
Yeah.
They're aggressive. They play defense like not defense like Tom Thibodeau teaches. Defense like, I'm gonna come out there and swat your ass.
Yes, but if the Cavs win, there's a ton of great young talent on that with Donovan Mitchell and the whole roster is under 30 years old, it feels like. But then in the West is where it gets really, really fun to me, though, is looking at the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, and the Thunder, and if any of them can knock off the Nuggets, or if they can't, I think you're in for another couple rounds that are just gonna be outstanding. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm with you, man. It's feeling a lot more like it's not just such a shoe-in for the Nuggets.
Yeah,
because I came into this playoffs kind of like, I'm gonna be interested in, the outer limits of it, right?
Yeah.
Like the first, second round, and even I guess the conference finals, because I was like, well, it's kind of preordained. It's going to be the Nuggets. Pretty sure the Celtics, but now I'm starting to see the play, and I'm like, again, I know it's a lot about matchups once you get further into the playoffs.
I'd
but
love
dude,
to see
the Thunder just look friggin' good.
I'd love to see the Magic Celtics.
That'd be awesome,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a team with size and energy that could go out and disrupt, and
Well, especially without Porzingis now.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, it feels very much like a changing of the guard moment. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about the NBA, though, is let's look at these teams that kind of fell apart. The Suns, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Heat. Are those teams that are built to win a championship with a couple small tweaks, or is it time to blow up some of those teams? Because that's my other curiosity, is what happens in the offseason for the teams that couldn't get out of the first round. So we talk about that next. Center and Saint on 1080 The Fan.
Auto accident? Need a loaner today? Call Life's Auto Collision Centers. We can get you into a replacement vehicle as early as today. At Life's, we work with all insurance companies. We process your claim fast, repair your vehicle to pre-loss, bill direct, and get you back on the road hassle-free. Need your vehicle picked up? Call Life's and we'll send out one of our fleet flatbed trucks to your home or office anywhere in the Northwest. Leif's Auto Collision, the industry leader for 33 years, locally owned, the finest in collision repair.
Need inspiration? Shop Fred Meyer for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Fred Meyer worth it every time. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save an extra 10 to 20% with our friends and family discount. Use your card and in-store coupon and save more today. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
Make sure that your home's heating and cooling system is being cared for by your local Lennox Premier dealer, Midway Heating Company. Serving Multnomah County, parts of Clackamas and Washington counties since 1959. For a limited time, receive up to $1,700 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments and incur no interest for 12 months when financing a new Lennox system. Call Midway Heating Company today at 503-252-4003 or visit us online at midwayheating.com to learn more. Dealer license number CCB 24044.
Did you know the law requires insurance companies to pay you 100% of your auto claim in cash? At Leif's, we're here to help you do just that. It's your money. Thinking about cashing out, a partial repair, or for many, a pre-loss repair? We're on your side. Remember, it's your money, but to settle your claim 100%, you'll need a professional. Insurers will not settle your claim correctly without a pro working for you. Custom services, deduct assist, loaners, pickup and delivery. Leif's, we're always on your side.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts, until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPV, LLC.
You can't cool me down, I'm too hot.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Got big plans for Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah!
Making some tofu nachos tomorrow.
Tofu nachos?
Yeah.
Ooh! We should do nachos today.
Tomorrow! Cinco de Mayo, dude.
I don't really care about that. Sunday night is leftover night. So we just eat whatever's in the fridge. But tonight, my wife texted me literally this morning as I was driving in.
Yeah.
What should we have for dinner?
I was
like, 6 a.m. Why are you up?
I was having beers with starting to get the Hood to Coast team together.
Nice.
So got a couple folks that I hadn't met that are on the team. And one of the gals that's running said that she has a Thursday night nacho group. They go out somewhere in Portland and find nachos.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I know. That's what I thought. And I had a couple recommendations. I was like, first of all, 10 Barrel. They do kettle chip nachos, so it's like gorgonzola cheese and bacon and whatever. So they're not like the traditional Tex-Mex nachos. There's some salmon nachos. Actually, you can get with that. Aren't you pescatarian?
No, I'm vegetarian.
Are you? You're no more
POS.
Wait,
How don't you know that?
Wait, so you don't eat fish?
No.
What? You used to?
Yeah. Before I realized.
Why do you still smell like fish?
Well.
Okay. The Backwoods Pub has salmon nachos, and those are dynamite. But we were at Paymaster, which is not far from us. They had some killer nachos with like Thai chili, sweet hot honey sauce on. Pretty dang good too. So I
All
can,
right.
I can give some nachos. That's how you celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm having nachos tonight.
You should. I highly recommend it. And the nice thing about nachos is like just put the stuff that you like on it.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
Put whatever you like on it.
And then
peanut
cover
butter.
It, and then
Go
cover
ahead.
it in cheese.
Yeah.
You know, they put peanut butter on burgers. So why
Do
not?
they?
Yeah, the peanut butter bacon pickle burger.
Oh boy, how's your cholesterol after eating that?
I don't know, but your head is happy, your heart is happy, your stomach is a little grumbly, but it's all good, man.
What was
The
that
Killer
dumb
Burger?
quote you gave me about from Frank Sinatra about drinking?
I feel bad for people that don't. Well, which one's a
it?
Frank Sinatra? I feel bad for people that don't drink because when we wake up in the morning, that's the best they're gonna feel all day.
Yeah,
Is that the one?
I remember you telling me that once. Maybe it was right around one of the first times we met because I told you I don't drink, and then
Yeah.
you said that to me, and I was like, "What? Shut up! What are you talking about?"
My brother always says it, and I don't know who deserves credit for it, so I give it to my brother. But he always says that drinking is borrowing happiness from tomorrow. Which I
Oh,
find-
that's poetic.
yeah,
I do like
I
that.
like that one. So, anyways, let's talk a little bit about the losers in the NBA. Because I'm very curious if you are the Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers, probably not so much the Milwaukee Bucks, but definitely the Lakers, Clippers, Suns.
Oh, all of them. Yeah.
Do you run it back next year?
So there are some definite no's in that group. Now, the first definite no is Miami. You
Yeah.
can no longer
Yep.
do this.
This is not a sustainable model.
No, it's
Yeah.
not working. And in fact, I don't know if there's enough NBA intelligence to explain what happened the year before. Honestly, it happened, and now it's not a thing.
Sheer will.
Yeah, really.
Well, and the other thing, if
who
you're Jimmy
knows?
Butler and you're the anchor of that team, is that where you want to be?
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, Miami, no, you can't do it. It's not sustainable and it's not smart. The Lakers, I would say, is the same thing. You
Yeah.
can't do it. You do have to do it in some respect because you've paid Anthony Davis that amount of money and he is there. Though I do know a lot of players in the NBA can't get themselves out of contracts. It seems like Anthony Davis is going to stick around because I don't know how many people want to put that much money into him as a basketball player.
Yeah.
LeBron James, though he might stay on a one-year deal, it doesn't affect anything. That roster is broken fundamentally on so many levels. So you have those two. Now the Bucks are kind of a stickier situation because you kind of assume they might move on from Doc Rivers.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there.
Because it's like you didn't hire him long term.
It's kind of an incomplete, though.
Yeah,
It's-
but usually
yeah.
in those moves, right, when you fire a head coach mid-season, like somebody within takes over
Well,
as the
if,
interim.
If Terry Stotts didn't walk away, he could have been back with Dame.
So that dude takes over in the interim, and then you kind of think about it, and then whatever happens, happens. I mean, it seems they went out and just tried to find a Band-Aid because they were like, look, this is it. This is the window.
Who's the best coach that's not working right now?
Yeah, let's just do it because this is kind
David
of...
Blatt was busy. So
Yeah, well... And then, you have a team like the Clippers, who I heard just an incredible rumor this morning that would
do
just
tell.
tickle me, that Ty Lue would leave the Clippers and go coach the Lakers.
Oh, I believe that. Oh, yeah.
Which is amazing because
Yeah.
it just proves yet again no one cares about the Clippers.
No, of course
At
they
all.
don't. Well, I mean, and this current construction of just playoff P, who does not show up, Kawhi, who is not reliable at all, James Harden, Russell Westbrook reuniting for the first time since the Thunder.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing is just a mess. But so the interesting part to me, though, and it sounds like the Suns, like there is no way that Devin Booker and KD can get along on a basketball court. Like it doesn't work, which I don't fully
Oh,
understand.
you mean just playing wise?
Yeah, like one of them's going, and which is KD, because you're not gonna get rid of Devin Booker.
Well, their biggest problem, which I say you can run this back. I think they're the most
Run it
of that
backable?
list. Like, yeah, they're the most run backable because really,
Well, I would say the Bucks just because you
too
lost
old.
because of injuries. Well,
Everyone's so old, dude.
Well, yeah, you need
Giannis
to add
is
some
tearing
pieces.
down.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton, I mean, he couldn't even play a third of the season. And Damian Lillard, obviously, there's diminished returns there.
Yeah.
And then you look at the rest of that roster,
But,
it
okay,
ages.
so
look at the Suns. There's an easy solution, or at least to like get things better. Get a point guard.
What?
Yeah, like Like get an actual point guard.
What's Chris Paul doing?
Yeah, right.
So not even on this list, you've got the Golden State Warriors. You've got, some other teams that are aging, also not in the playoffs. Sacramento Kings are one of those young teams that's really fun, but didn't have the repeat success. So if you blow up these 6 of these teams, if the 76ers, I don't know how confident you are in bringing them back as a repeat of what you had this year. But if you blow up all those teams, that's a lot of all-stars that are just floating out there. And I don't know if it ends up, building a super team in one of these destinations, going somewhere else. But man, that's a lot of NBA talent on the scrap heap that you're gonna go. I mean, this I don't know what's gonna be more exciting: the rest of the playoffs or NBA free agency.
Rest of the playoffs. Come on, man. Dude, these have been so frigging awesome, and it really
They've been
has...
okay. There's been a couple competitive series.
Well,
it's fun watching the new teams win. I will admit to that. But
it's fun watching those dudes because I think that a lot of the times in the NBA regular season, you get kind of jaded with, the slog of it all, right?
Sure.
It's a long season, and so you're going to have a lot of games and a lot of highlights that after a while it just kind of seems like a wall. But like, I think what was so incredible, at least the thing that I've paid attention to the most in the West, is the friggin' Timberwolves, dude.
Yes, please.
Like they are, they have a dynamic there that, I kind of doubted for a little while, but then after the first round series, I looked at it and I was like, they could beat Denver. They really could.
Well,
the size is there. Anthony Edwards looks like he is ready to make the plays that he needs to make, and I friggin' loved how he talked smack to Kevin Durant.
Oh, yeah, and that's his favorite player.
Yes.
Too. That was the other part that I absolutely loved.
It was so cool. In the post game, he was like,
smile
I
on
love
his
that
face.
guy. I respect him. I base my game off him, but I'm going to give it to him.
Yes!
Yeah.
No, he's greatness. It's absolutely... I'm with you that the rest of the playoffs will be probably more. But I'm telling you, man, every day you're gonna be like, well, what are the Lakers gonna do? Where's Jimmy Butler gonna land? Where is I don't know, man. I just feel like it's gonna be a mess. And the funny thing is, you look at these young teams. Are any of them gonna be willing to give up assets to take on one of these old guys to do that, or are they good standing pat? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of decisions to be made in next offseason to me that is really, really fascinating. When you have a changing of the guard, there's a lot of guys that are used to being on the inside that are now on the outside going, well, what do we do? That's really fun to me.
And I think what really is interesting is like the idea of the Portland Trailblazers signing Jimmy Butler.
Yes, let's go. Come on.
I think they should.
They should sign him.
And I think it's
Paul
a realistic
George.
idea too.
Yep, absolutely.
It's very realistic.
And if they can get Melo back.
Yeah. Yes. I think that if you could convince Kevin Durant that Scoot Henderson's the future.
I don't see why
I mean,
not.
that's the kind of stuff right there.
He's only 19. Come
He
on,
is
of course
only
he's
19 years old. And the coach, he's a genius.
Well, why not get Russ Westbrook up here?
That's a really good idea. Have him come off the bench.
If you could
Actually,
get
I'm
Westbrook
gonna
and
turn off. I'm gonna turn off my cynicism here. Actually, Russell Westbrook kind of would be good, dude. Of that Clippers team, I will say Russell Westbrook was the best part.
He's the try-hard man. He shows up and he plays
and he was great off the bench. Like he was actually really good on that team for the role that he served. If we got Russell Westbrook for a veteran minimum, I'd be like, that's great. The team got better.
You have to pay somebody. There is a floor in the NBA. You have to because you keep telling me this team was too good to be that bad, but you have to have somebody, and you have to pay somebody, and not everybody commands what Ayton and Jeremy Grant are making. So, yeah, it was a team terrible this year. Yes,
we're
they
tanking, but we did just pay a forward a lot of money.
You have to pay somebody.
Oh my gosh,
dude! Look around the rosters.
Dude,
and what
you can
people
have
are
a low
getting paid.
payroll. You don't have to do that. You can unload stuff.
But you cannot go below the floor, and you can't go over the cap without penalties. So it is what it is. The Blazers, not even part of this conversation, young man. But I do like that you're excited about Westbrook.
I would. How would you not be mad if they were like, we have signed Russell Westbrook? You couldn't be mad about that. You just go, oh, all right, sure.
But I'm saying you wouldn't even have to pay the veterans.
Yeah.
Pay him whatever he wants. We have to get rid of some of this money.
Yeah.
Let's
now,
go.
if you traded a bunch of stuff for him, then I'd be like, what are you doing? But if you just signed him off the scrap heap, I'd be like, great, the team's probably better now.
And they bring back Gary Trent Jr. or one of the
Sure.
Yes, let's go.
He seems all right.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Isn't he? I think that he is. Oh, well, anyways. All right, let's move on to our fixed baseball segment after we do this Sports Center update.
Nice bird.
What's up?
Leading us into our baseball segment is some news that Garrett Cole is moving along in terms of his rehab. He threw off the mound.
Oh, very
Saturday
exciting.
morning. And I can tell you as a Orioles fan, who just
Was
beat
that your
the
first Yankee series?
Yes.
Okay.
It was good. Beat him 3 out of 4. They could definitely use the help.
Yep. Well, it's you get an ace back into your rotation, and it always seems to improve things. Weird how that works.
It is weird to me. I have no context, so
Yeah, well,
I'm just going to believe you.
Well, I'm telling you.
More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Will Darkins from the Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. The BX Series is the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $2,300 on select equipment. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Rick Rial Farm Supply, Oregon Equipment Sales in Hubbard and McMinnville, or Dan's Tractor in Battleground.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hey, it's Rob for Window Nation. Who doesn't love saving money? And right now it's Window Nation's semi-annual sale where 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 years and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week. That's throughout the month. And hey, if you need new windows, Window Nation carries customized windows by Milgard. They're made locally for our climate. It's easy. Call 866-90-NATION right now. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule a free, no-obligation quote.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Danny Green, 3-time NBA champ. You either rooted for me or rooted against me. Join myself and my co-host Harrison Sanford on the Inside the Green Room podcast.
It's a podcast that brings you never-before-told tales from the locker room to candid interviews with basketball legends to breakdowns of what's happening in the NBA right now. Whether you're a diehard fan or casual about your hoops, this podcast brings you the game like never before.
Follow Inside the Green Room on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Sinner and the Saint Tailgate with Luke Anderson and Will Darkins on 1080 The Fan.
Easy. Trying to see what up, though. Brooklyn. Home of the cutthroats. Notorious. Y'all know
Will Darkins laying down the beats.
One eye open.
That's right, everyone. Gather around. We're going to listen.
You know, every once in a while you play one. I just want to hear a little bit more. Let's go. Baseball fandom, how's it going? How's it going? We're 2 months in.
It's going great.
We're 2 months in?
I think.
Yeah, close to there.
I have interacted with every game.
6 weeks. Every single game you've interacted with in the entire Baltimore Orioles season. You tried watching one. Have they had more on prime time yet?
Next Friday, Friday Night Baseball, we get Arizona, which should be good.
I saw that. I saw that
think
on
we're at
the
home.
Apple TV. Is that
Yeah.
the Friday night one? Yeah.
I've been very tempted to take the reduced cost offer they have for MLB for individual teams,
Sure.
which is $120 for the year.
That's not bad.
Which is really not bad at all.
Like, it's so funny because, people gripe about, it's the cost of television. If you know what you want to watch, I think that's a great way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm lurking around that, though. The reason I did pick radio to do audio was the fact I'm always kind of doing stuff and
Yep.
I'm
Time-
walking
time of
around,
day.
and most of the Oriole games are going to be in the afternoon because of the East Coast. So like having a headphone in and listening. Otherwise, man, they're just friggin' exciting. I mean, yeah, they're really good. I think they're the second best team in the league right now.
21-11 right now,
best
first
in the
place in the
AL.
NL,
Yeah.
in the AL East, and I got them at they're second best ahead of the Yankees, so
Mhm.
21-13. So I guess technically the Guardians have a better win percentage than the
Yep.
Yankees, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun to root for a really good team, obviously.
Sure.
But I think where I find the difference is that and where I feel like I made a very good choice in teams to follow is all these dudes, as I hear the profiles of them. They all just came from AAA.
Yeah.
Almost all of them. They either are 2 years removed or 1 year removed from AAA. So you're seeing it now. Jordan Westberg, you're seeing it now on ground floor. Colton Cowser, you're seeing it on the ground level right now. Heston Kjerstad last night getting 2 hits. It was you're seeing it because he's coming up. Now he did come up last year and then they sent him back down and then
Yep.
What have you. But yeah.
Well, it's the way that the team cycles through their roster and how important the farm system is. And it's funny when you look at baseball compared to other sports and, having a minor league system. Imagine how different the NBA would look if you had a developmental league that was tied to your team. If the G League was the AAA team for every NBA team, and you had guys like Scoot Henderson who you could keep and just have him be the star of your farm team for a couple years where he develops and gets a shot, and then you can work on these long-term deals where you kind of built it out. The NFL, if they had a quarterback development program, and you can get these guys and just go, hey, let's see what happens as we go through. But baseball is really the only one that has it, and you'll see a lot of times where a star player is traded for prospects, and you go, oh, well, we lose our guy. But 2 years later, you go, man, what a great move that it was, because you have to think that much further ahead. And that's where the fun and the complexity of baseball really, to me, is kind of fascinating.
I think the reason that's not going to work for other sports is that baseball, though there are some very glaring exceptions, is not as physically demanding a sport as, say, basketball or football when it comes to a development league. Now,
Yeah.
the NBA does have their G League, and I think the reason they don't do they don't do a, hey, you specifically, I'm drafting you, and then you're going to go to the G League for 2 years and let's see what happens, is that, well, in those 2 years, if you get hurt, which quite honestly, by averages, there's a high likelihood you will get hurt down there. Now I just lost on my investment, and I have to wait another X amount of years before I can even consider bringing you up. NFL, it's very obvious.
Well, college football is your minor
yeah,
league
that's
system.
your
and
minor league.
And
so
they've had
if you get
draft-
hurt there, you're not making
the
it.
thing about the NBA that's interesting is it's so dependent on athleticism, and guys have been able to make that transition, and as a teenager have a big impact on the league. But there's so many roster spots that would benefit, and there's so many guys that are capable of playing professional basketball that are just kind of floating around the globe playing because it's become a global sport. But the truth is, I think that for such a long time, the NBA used college basketball as their minor league system the way that college football does. And now they just are kind of in that in-between. I would not be surprised if in the next 10 years you saw it where every NBA team had a G League team, where
That
they
would be
had
nice.
guys that they could kind of stash, because you need role players. When injuries happen, it doesn't necessarily have to be the place where you build stars, and you're seeing this now, especially with Baltimore, because they've got some the top prospects in baseball. Is the stars go through that minor league system very quickly. But in the middle of the season, when you get in the dog days of summer and your middle relief is struggling, you're going to be looking to AAA going, what do we have down there? Who's
yeah.
available? Where can we go when somebody goes on the IR? When you're trying to make your playoff roster and build that out? What you do when the rosters expand at the trade deadline? Who's available in your farm system that you can move that hasn't made it to the bigs yet? So there's a lot more intrigue in that, and I think it just makes the team. It gives a season like this for the Portland Trailblazers where you look at it and go, man, what a waste of a season. You go, well, at least we've built up our farm system. You don't have a farm system. Like the guys, you only have so many roster spots, so you have to pay these guys that are basically, like you said, you're overpaying for all of these guys, and they're sitting on a shelf somewhere just kind of wasting away. But it's also a non-salary cap sport, so it makes a big difference there too. So
well, and how the Orioles are benefiting even outside of the farm system is kind of in a weird way due to injury. And to explain that, I'll say that our bullpen is awful, not good. We rely on Craig Kimbrell, which
he's been
fine.
great. He's been great in the past.
He's okay.
Yeah.
But we've benefited because of the fact that we got through April with a great record, whereas I had read through articles and on the subreddit, many people were like, if we could get through April a little bit above 500, that would be great. That would be good, because what they were waiting on was Kyle Bradish, who was their ace last year before they acquired Corbin Burns, who was doing UCL treatments, and then John Means, who was already healing from a Tommy John. So it was he took the whole year off and is coming back. And they made it. And then Bradish had a start, I believe, in the last game of the Yankees series, and he looked friggin' amazing. He looked really good. And now John Means is starting tonight against the Reds. And they kind of hit really well on Cole Irvin, the dude who apparently was fat during spring, but then lost weight. He's had 3 scoreless games.
Yeah.
So there's those good parts, and then there's the bad, which is our prospect Grayson Rodriguez has a quote unquote sore shoulder. He's been put on the 15-day IL. And the more I read about it, people were like, dude, you don't want to hear sore shoulder with a pitcher. If it's an elbow, you're like, okay, I know it's this. Shoulder means
trouble. Well, shoulder always means trouble, regardless of what you're doing. Just being an old person and having had shoulder injuries. But the thing about this, you haven't been through the ebbs and the flows of the season. I mean, you talk about not having the demands. 162 game season, a long haul, and guys are going to go through slumps, and they're going to be at the top of the game and at the bottom of their game and everywhere in between. And with a young team, it's going to get a little erratic. You had one comment on the Yankees series that you wanted to bring up.
Yes, Juan Soto's terrible. He's very good at baseball. Let me, but he is annoying. Goodness me.
Yeah.
He's not even fun in that
well,
it's not like
everybody
Edwards.
gets less fun when they go to the Yankees. So in Washington, fun, less fun in San Diego, and now with the Yankees.
But I don't even have that.
Yeah.
I don't even have that prejudice yet. I just I don't have a hatred for the Yankees, because I'm just kind of all right, I'm feeling this out. Let's see what happens.
You'll get one.
But oh, he's annoying. During our series, they were down. Dean Kramer was pitching, and he's a mild-mannered guy. He's just some dude who's been with the Orioles for 5 years, and he's a starting pitcher, and he's one of our just good starting pitchers, not the worst,
middle of the
not
rotation.
Yeah, he's good. And he tossed it to him, and Soto hits a homer on him, and he throws the bat and then just stares at him the entire time as he's running along the bases, and everybody's like, what the hell did Dean Kramer do to make him stare at him? And then they asked him after the game, and he goes, I didn't like the way he was kicking the mound. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, look, but you're turning into old baseball guys.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah,
the
you
bat
are.
flip,
Bat
I'm
flip?
good with it.
Okay, stare down.
I'm good with this. I'm good with all that kind of stuff. But I was just kind of I would be more like that if Kramer had thrown 2 pitches at him.
Sure,
I'd be dude, stare him down. Screw that guy. But the most mild-mannered person ever. And then I started reading back about Juan Soto, and he has these problems where he just does erratic things. They end up losing the series, and he goes, I bet he didn't like it when I did that. I was dude, you just lost the series.
Yeah.
Perhaps focus on winning.
The personalities in baseball, and this is part of the reason that baseball is so fun too, is the personalities are insane. It's
especially
filled,
pitchers.
It's
They're
filled
weird.
with the whole league is filled with crazy people because you have to be insane to play baseball. The thing about baseball, like one of my favorite things, if you've ever read Moneyball, when he's talking about Billy Beane sitting there talking to Lenny Dykstra. And
I have not read the book.
Okay, so he's sitting there, and the name escapes me. Steve Carlton or somebody's on the mound, and Billy Beane is sitting there watching him and just kind of in awe. He's like, "Oh my god, like I gotta go face this guy or whatever." And little Lenny Dykstra sits next to him, who's just kind of a rock solid little guy, and Billy Beane's like this five tool prospect, 6'4", big frame, 5'6". Lenny Dykstra comes up and is like, "Who's this guy?" Steve Carlton. It's like he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best pitchers of all time. And Billy Beane or Dykstra goes, "What does he got?" Billy Beane's like, "He's got one of the best fastballs with all the movement on. He's got a slider that'll rip you in half and a curveball that falls off the table." And Dykstra just goes, "I'll stick him." And he just goes out there and gets a hit. And Billy Beane was beat before he ever got in the box. And so you have things like that. That's just one of those things that just illustrates, like, it doesn't always help to be the most cerebral. It doesn't always help. Sometimes it's better to be Juan Soto and go up there and create some rivalry with his pitcher because you don't like the way he's kicking the mound, so you can motivate yourself. But again, my point is, these guys are insane. You can shake your head.
I think he's insane to the point that it was like, it just sure seems like he's there to collect a check.
Yeah, well, I know.
And
Not
I
saying
know
you're
a lot of
wrong.
them are, but like it very much seems like he's there to be like, all right, you guys are paying me for a year. I don't quite care if we win.
Yeah, well, he cares about his numbers because he keeps getting paid.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's the trouble with baseball is there's a lot of individualism because there's so much money out there. So, it's not a perfect sport, but yeah, the hating Yankees is part of the rite of passage. So I'm glad that you found a Yankee to hate.
I guess. I like Aaron Judge. I
did
heard him
too.
talk. I was kind of like, yeah, he seems fine.
Good.
Giancarlo Stanton. I was like, yeah, he seems fine too.
Well, he hasn't been very good since he's been there. He's got paid a lot of money to be very mediocre.
He's very slow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's a big old monster of a person. Hey, let's talk about what to watch this weekend. We'll do that next. Sinner and Saint, 1080 The Fame.
Ready for concert quality sound in your vehicle? At Car Toys, we can radically improve your audio without touching your dash. Hear what premium speakers can do for your factory sound system and save up to 20% on JL Audio, Alpine, Kicker, and Infinity. Alpine Type S speakers start at just $49. Get a safer ride with free installation on Kenwood Apple CarPlay and Android Auto receivers from $299. Visit one of our 48 stores and cartoys.com for the drive you deserve.
Car Toys, a better way to go.
Hey, it's Sook. And guys, for those of you with a full head of hair, congratulations. Studies show that one of the most attractive physical features is a full head of hair. It sucks to be me. Because you know what the least attractive? Well, hair loss. And some say that no amount of cars or houses or success can make up for balding, as it leaves the greatest lasting impression. But it doesn't have to be that way for a lot of you. For me, it's too late. But Advanced Hair has the quick one-day solution for a lot of your hair losses that can make you look 10 to 20 years younger. No more expensive pills or topicals, just your very own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advanced Hair has improved tens of thousands of lives, and I sure wish they were around when I went bald decades ago. Did I mention with Advanced Hair, your own natural hair begins to grow the very next day. So for your free, no-hassle consultation, call 503-832-HAIR. And if you qualify, you get $250 and 250 free hair grafts. That's 503-832-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Which is the most exciting matchup in the field of competition? Which game will leave you kicking yourself if you miss it? Which channel should you switch to when the sporting day is done? Welcome to America's most exciting sports talk radio show segment. It's time for What to Watch. Presented by Encore Audio Video. Now hear this. Whether you're looking for a new TV or a custom home theater, start at Encore's showroom at 14th and Everett in the Pearl. Now our expert panel. Avid television viewer Will Darkins. And increasingly out-of-touch father of twin girls, Luke Anderson. Are here to tell you what to watch. Literally, it's What to Watch on The Sinner and the Saint on 1080 The Fan.
All right, only one NBA game in action today, one tomorrow. Today we've got the start of the second round. I don't know if it gets any better than this. Timberwolves Nuggets. Let's go.
Timberwolves Nugs.
Yeah, if you could only watch one game this weekend, would you watch game 1, Timberwolves Nuggets, or game 7, Magic Cavs?
Probably game 1.
Really?
I kind of have a feeling the Cavs will win. I mean, they're coming back home, and quite an emotional game by the Magic last night. They were at home. There was a possibility this was kind of their last home game of the season. You had some incredible performances by Paolo Banchero, and who's the guy from Gonzaga? I always blank his name.
Jalen Suggs.
Suggs, incredible performance. He had like a three-pointer from almost the logo.
What was it, like the first time that 3 guys under 22 had all scored 20 points in a game, whatever the stat was?
But I mean, it's got to be game 1, man. You're gonna. This is
Really?
gonna be the barometer for how this series will go. If the Nuggets go out there and just take care of business like they generally do, I'll be slightly sad because I want to see this be competitive. But if you get the Timberwolves go out there and they just, they surprise it. What made this so appealing to me was the fact that the Lakers were ahead at the half in almost every single game against the Nuggets.
And ran out of gas.
When I saw those, I was like, if the Timberwolves can do that and then sustain, this gets interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but the thing, you always got to take a game 7 over a game 1 if you can only watch one. I mean,
I don't know, man.
It's for the opportunity to play against the Celtics, and I just think the Magic would give the Celtics more trouble, not necessarily because they've been great all year, but just they have so much size and length and nothing to lose. And I feel like the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, since he's been at the helm, they've been good, but I don't think they have championship potential.
Good, not great.
Yep. So I'll take the younger team, the longer team, the more menacing team, and nothing to lose. I'd love to see the Celtics get knocked out of this thing. The Nuggets, I really enjoy watching the Nuggets play.
It would be sweet because they had one of the best regular seasons in current NBA history.
Yep, I'm very aware. So that's my hope, is that they get knocked out in round 2. And you know what? Maybe the Cavs could do it too, but that's kind of my hope. So 2 great NBA games. Should be a fun weekend of.
Are you guys still leading your division?
Yep, leading the division right now. We are we right even with
the Stros?
No, the Rangers. The Stros are in the back.
They've
been terrible. Yeah, the Astros and the
that's
Angels,
right.
and then the A's have been middling. Like they're like right around 500. So.
Yeah, before the Yankees series, they beat us in a series. They're playing really well.
Yeah, half game ahead of the Rangers right now, and then but you got to beat the Astros at least 1 out of 3. Holy cow, letting them come in and beat you. But they always have it. So. Anyways, we will be back next weekend. But for now, big thank you to Will. Thank you to everyone for listening. We're done. Bye-bye.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. The Kubota L Series is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance meshed attachments. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota